bring you another round of video commentary. Sorry for the delay, but I have not really been following the LPL so much, but regardless, we are still going to give you a banger of a game. You guys should know me by now. I am a big FPX fan. I watch every single one of their games where possible, and I'm not going to lie, I have not watched any of their playoff games, and therefore we are going to watch them together, I believe, as FPX starting with round 1, banning out the Lilia, Thresh, and Nidalee, and opting for the Udyr in the first pick, while Rare Atom going for the Hecarim, Renekton, and Gragas ban in the first round, along with a Nocturne lock-in, an interesting counter here coming in from Rare Atom, hovering that Kai'Sa now, wondering whether or not to take it. Tristana, of course, is a staple. I prefer, to be honest, with the Nocturne, I think I kind of prefer the Kai'Sa. Unfortunately for them, they decided to go for the Tristana, but we'll see how it goes because I believe more in the pros than my own judgment, of course, as the Kai'Sa is being hovered here now for FPX. What we like to see here from the third pick, probably a support pick here. There's a lot of options. They can go, of course, for the Leona. They can go for the Rel, of course, as well as the okay, Gragas is banned. Never mind. And they opt for the Kai'Sa Rel for the bottom side of FPX, saving their last two picks for, of course, their solo laners, their star-studded solo laners. Would not be surprised at all to see Nuguri actually take the fourth pick and have the fifth pick be for doing the, of course, these two players, as we know, top of both their respective roles, can play a lot of champions. Doingby and Champion Ocean, Nuguri as well, a Champion Ocean in his own right. So there is a good chance that the fourth pick will be a flex pick, and potential flex pick could include maybe a Jace even, or let me see, what else can kind of flex in both lanes? A Rumble, of course, that's an easy flex coming in here. That could potentially be coming in here. And as I say that, Rare Atom recognizing that the flex picks are likely to be a point of power for FPX, immediately look to take that away from them with the Jace ban. FPX here on their ban. I don't really know very much about Rare Atom. I am not going to lie to you. I focus less on individual teams and more on the gameplay aspect. So I suppose more of a shoutcaster than a colorcaster. But ladies and gentlemen, I will do my best for you as the Zoe ban comes out, wanting to take away some of that roaming, that early to mid game impact, as well as that late game poke potential coming in from the Zoe. I assume Fofo might be known for that Zoe. I could potentially see a Victor ban coming into fruition here on the side of FPX, because it seems, oh, a Silas ban coming out. Could this be an indicator of wanting to take Twisted Fate away from Doingby? Twisted Fate, a champion that hasn't actually seen very much play in the international stage. In the LPL, however, I don't think even in the LPL, I don't think it's gotten that much attention. But if it has, it is definitely a unique pick here. Now, will FPX think that, are they bluffing the TF pick? They could potentially look to ban something else here. I assume it's going to be the Victor ban. Actually goes for the Azir ban, another scaling mage, not wanting to allow RA any of that opportunity to scale. RA now with their fourth pick. I think we will see a top lane pick here. The Ngar, of course, is still open, a favorite for every region so far, and this would be a very standard pick here. The fun thing is, what do FPX have to counter this? They could go for the Irelia, which has gotten a lot of popularity and success, might I say, in the PCS region. Our darling neighbors. We could also potentially see a Fiora coming out. Of course, Nuguri's Fiora is something that could potentially come out. Irelia, Fiora, we could see, of course, the Scion, a super tank coming out. And just as I mentioned, Irelia is hovered and locked in as well. Okay, this is exciting stuff right here, as the Orianna is also locked in here for the side of FPX. Doingby's Orianna is something he kind of picked up over the last year and a half to 2 years, and has so far shown a lot of power, he's dependable on it, actually. He's one of the more standard mages that you don't really expect to see coming out of Doingby. However, it is still a pick that he has excelled in the past, and that he most definitely can excel in. I cannot believe what I'm seeing RA is expected to win this game over Fun Plus Phoenix as the fans dictate, as another global ultimate gets added to the side of RA's already sizable repertoire of use of skills that they can use, their tools they can use to try and dismantle FPX. Now, while the fans do vote for the side of RA, I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that my allegiances lie ever so strongly in the capable hands of Doing B and the FPX squad. So this double global threat does not hinder me at all. So looking at these lanes, it is obvious that FPX have two lanes that they can kind of play around. They can play around snowballing the top lane of Nuguri as well as playing along the bottom side. However, more likely than not, playing around the bottom side will be risky because Tristana getting a hit can also lead to some immense tower taking pressure, which is something you most definitely want to avoid if you are FPX. Therefore, I envision FPX playing more around the top side of the map with the Udyr, with the Orianna, doing be pushing out lane and sprinting up towards the top side. However, with the TF pick on Fofo in the mid lane for RA, they can also potentially contest that with, I think, even better wave clear coming out from the Twisted Fate. It might take a bit more mana. However, Twisted Fate's wave clear is not something that can be not something that you can take out of account, should I say. Meanwhile, on the side of RA, they also have the choice to try and snowball the top side. Oh, interesting. Hail of Blades, Ngar coming out here, wanting to take very short burst trades, try and stack up his W passive as quickly as possible in order to run away and kite out that Irelia as soon as he can, not wanting to stay in a prolonged fight with Irelia, as Irelia will most likely chop up that Ngar, especially in little Ngar form. And as I mentioned that we are now loading into the game, ladies and gentlemen, both teams aching to get out, bursting out of the gates, running into position. Nocturne, of course, meaning both Nocturne and TF mean that until level 6, I believe FPX will be having a very good time running around. The lanes on the top side of the map are not strong enough in favor of FPX for them to warrant looking for a dive, I do believe. However, Tien will most likely have all the freedom in the world to run into Lian's jungle in order to steal a camp or two. And already, stealing 1 or 2 camps pretty much delays the level 6 by about 20 seconds, 40 seconds, and could potentially be huge for his team. It can do a lot for in alleviating the pressure, not only from keeping the Nocturne away from level 16, but also by spotting out the Nocturne and letting your own team know where they don't need to worry about. And as 1 minute and 30 seconds rolls through, no fancy schmancy going on in the level 1 for either team, as FPX and RA just go into normal lanes. Red buff start for both respective junglers and not many wards thrown down onto the Rift. Only 1 each for each team. And already in the mid lane, Doing B getting some harass down onto Fofo, still full mana probably with that pick a card. Does not have the range to contest Doing B's harass in this current moment in time. So now, what will we see? Again, RA, it's just a race to hit level 6 and try to snowball a lane. I'm pretty sure they'll be focused down on the bottom side, but as I say that, iBoy is engaged onto by Crisp, and Crisp backs off as soon as the Aftershock procs. iBoy taken down to half HP. Is there a threat here for a level 2 all-in? As a stun coming out from Nuguri has hit level 2, Cube could potentially be in a little bit of danger. However, Nuguri with only 2 stacks of his passive does not opt to go on to the Ngar. If he had perhaps 3 stacks of passive, he might have gotten to do it, as the FPX bottom side now putting a ward down on the blue buff, trying their best to track the enemy jungler Lian with his sweeper. Will most likely be able to spot that out. Already behind on 1 camp against that Udyr, who will be in position to perhaps attempt a gank on Cube in the top side. Cube, if the wave has been built out nicely enough by Nuguri, could potentially be in a little bit of danger, as a stun into a follow-up stun from the Irelia could lead to the death of that Ngar and begin snowballing already the top side. So back to R8, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, beautiful stun and sidestep coming in there from Nuguri as he's trading damage on to Cube. Has 4 stacks of his passive only, so Nuguri not doing the opportune amount of damage he would have liked to. The wave is pretty decent, and up comes Tien, as was predicted, ladies and gentlemen. The wave is 7 minions strong. Round the corner bends Tien. No one is in position to help Cube. There is a teleport available for flash coming out from Cube to dodge the E, but the bear stance comes in, and 2 slabs later, Tien secures the first blood for Nuguri. In the top side, and just like that, FPX abusing the weaker early game of RA. Beautiful wave setup coming there from Nuguri and communicating it over to his jungler, allowing his jungler to skip the crab and run straight up there, forcing out Cube's teleport. Back to RA, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry that I keep on hopping on about FPX's greatness. A true fanboy will always do that, I suppose. But already, as we see here, Tian looking to try and steal away whatever resources he can, and there'll be a little bit of a contest here. However, Tian is by himself, does have flash, teleport coming in from Nuguri, and Cube, knowing that he will be the one getting pincered if he runs forward, decides against going and chasing Tian. Now, Cube is in a bit of a unfortunate spot, I believe, as the wave has just bounced off from his tower, and this bouncing wave could potentially... Ooh! Blind Q coming in there from Lian, actually not spotting out anybody. Tian opting to back off instead of stay, as Lian is spotted on the ward, clearing out his grumps. Now, as level 6 fast approaches for the Twisted Fate, there could potentially be a turn on the top side, as Niguri might not be able to be so aggressive as soon as TF hits 6, because he could potentially run straight up there and turn the situation into a 1v2, as Hung to bends the corner, doing be out of mana, pops a biscuit to try and get some gold card coming in. Flash comes out. Unfortunately, it is not enough, as the only member of the team who is nearby is nobody, actually, as everyone is in the side lanes. A nice gank coming in there from RA, crashing in on some experience, and a lot more importantly, wave priority for the side of Fofo, who is still level 5, as Lian is actually ahead in levels. Actually uses the E on a little Krug. Unfortunate, as Crisp and Hung are just beating each other up with their under-leveled supports down around the red buff area, as we're taking a break right now. Back to what I was saying, now that Fofo is almost 6, as is Lian, there is potential for a gank. Now, the ganks, I think, will come towards the bottom side, because snowballing the Tristana will allow you to accelerate the game at an unprecedented pace. However, the ulti can also be used on the top side, as Fofo is pulled in by the shockwave. Fofo is being run down, stun coming out, just barely nabbing him. Fofo stunning out Nuguri and flashing out Nuguri as she's carrying the kill. However, running straight into Lian, tries to take the fight. However, the fear does not come down. Oh, Lian flashing in for the last auto attack, and if the fear was available, of course, that kill would have been a lot less close. Nuguri, in fact, if he did have one more spell, or maybe he ran out of mana, could potentially have killed Lian there right in front of his own wolves, showing the neutral objectives who the real boss is. Meanwhile, looking at the CS right now, I must say Tian has not really made himself very much of a lead in comparison to Lian now hitting level 6 with Fofo level 6, ladies and gentlemen. Now we can start to commentate. Now I'm going to take a big swig of my water, because I may not have the opportunity for the next few minutes. As we are getting back into the game, we see now Fofo with Ignite on his spellbook, trying to secure some deep vision in order to ensure that he has a safe way of pathing towards the bottom side based on vision. There's a very strong vision on the bottom side, on actually either side of the mid lane for the RA's mid laner. As we see here, Scuttle and a ward in the top pixel in top side, while a ward in the enemy's raptor bush in the bottom side of the map. Lian spotting out Tian yet again, trying to be spotting out traces of Tian being in his jungle, as Nuguri is forced to play safe in spite of a huge wave, because he knows that Lian is in the area, and he knows that Lian is level 6. So far, Tian, aside from that one beautiful gank, that dive onto the top side, hasn't really done much in this game, as Hung is lumbering up towards the mid lane while his AD carry gets a quick recall in for himself. LWX, really don't expect to see him really start popping off until he's managed to upgrade his Q, and for all those Kaisa mains, you know that that is a pickaxe, a serrated dirk, and Doran's blade, if I'm not mistaken, with the quiver or without the quiver, that I also have come to think of it, also forgotten. As Crisp, an interesting rotation here up to the top side in order to ensure that Rift Herald is easily secured with two members on the bottom side. Oh, Hex Flash being challenged. FPX, beautiful LWX Flash coming in there, actually saving him from the potential death. If he did not flash that, he would most certainly have died, as though he kind of knew what was coming. As Doing B is ganked now, he's out of mana. Fear is being channeled, comes in. Oh, Shockwave actually might save his life. Unfortunately, the Q coming in from Nocturne and dodging the wild cards coming in, but Crisp is in even equally bad position. But Tian rounding the corner with his new Rift Herald, running straight at Lian as Crisp pokes Lian to death You can't poke the darkness apparently. Fofo now with half a mana bar will very easily be able to clear out this wave, doing B, pushing up just without a care in the world, without any mana in the world either. Just here to cash in on some plates as Tian now getting some counter jungling in. Oh, Nuguri actually hitting Cube. Oh, dodging out. Actually, Nuguri more of missed that shot. Unbelievably, Nuguri is in a suspicious position right now as he's quite low on both health and mana, but Tian is rounding the corners. Only 4 minutes left. They will need to hurry this one up. Cube is trying to clear out the wave as best as he can. One more Q will do it as Tian starts tanking up. Arrow gets the stun on a follow-up stun by Nuguri and it secures the kill. Apparently 4 minions is all you need and barely any mana is all you need in order to kill a little form Ngar. He really is not as scary as it would seem at that stage. Fofo still has yet to use his ultimate, is channeling it now right onto the bottom side. Chris trying to run as much interference as possible, getting a 2-man stun off, gets pulverized and knocked up in the, unfortunately there will not be a trade kill. That's a beautiful 3-man knockup. iBoy forced to flash out, doing the, oh, LWX trial. LWX was baited in, unfortunately. Oh, LWX was baited in to try and last hit iBoy, but was unfortunately CC'd towards the tail end there. Doing B still rattling away on this mid lane tower, securing himself 3 plates as the dragon is going over to the side of RA without contestation. And a good showing here from RA, seeing that their top laner is about to be dove. They definitely had some communications about that. Fofo sprinting down towards the bottom side with his bot lane and coordinating a very good dive. Crisp oh my goodness, as Nuguri jumping in here, getting a beautiful predict stun onto Cube again, forcing out his flash. The next time he steps up so far, he will not be safe again. Nuguri doing a fantastic job just predicting the landing point of the Ngar and stunning him right there as Hang has rotated up to try and save his top laner, try and salvage this situation. But going back into the bottom side, I think Chris did a fantastic job hitting a 3-man ultimate and landing I think a 2-man stun. Unfortunately, I think it was Hang who was tanking up the tower with his unbreakable will, and as a result was very tanky. Hang still trying to find an angle, but Nuguri playing very safe. He's being alerted by his bottom side, but soon after doing B gets his blue buff, I think he will endeavor to step up a little bit more aggressively. In fact, they might even start building a wave towards the top side with Tian in the area. Doing B with his blue buff will easily be able to push out this wave and match Fofo's clear. And as I say that, actually RA taking the initiative, Hang is coming up with Fofo. Lian is also in the area, does have his ultimate. Unfortunately, level 1 Paranoia is mighty short ranged and will not be able to reach very far. He needs to be pretty much in lane in order to get that gank going. iBoy is kind of stuck in lane. He can't step up very far. I'm surprised to see Crisp here not rotating, not maneuvering. In fact, he's recalling now in order to ensure that he gets his wards and can begin his roaming up into the map. As Cube here just helping Lian to leash. Unfortunately for him, he cannot take many of these as Lian does need the resources as well. He will begin to fall off soon as Fofo's ultimate is coming off cooldown, teleport coming down into the mid lane. Tian is here to secure priority, and with that, let's see what they decide to do as in comes the Paranoia onto Nuguri. Nuguri does not have his stacks of his passive. Oh, nearly gets something done. Unfortunately, the Mega Ngar transformation coming in, giving Ngar those resistances as well as that health allows him to stay alive as Tian running in now with Crisp and doing B hot on his heels, gets stunned under tower but doesn't care at all. Tian going a little bit too deep, unfortunately for them. Cube and Lian managed to assassinate their all-star top laner and leave, scuttle right out the front door, some would say. As Fofo now having completed his damn, what's the item called? Having completed his, okay, I forget what's the item called. Wait, what is that item called? I forget. Wow, I literally build the item all the time. Never mind, whatever. Anyways, so with that happening, Nuguri is actually going in onto Fofo. Oh, getting the stun onto Fofo. Fofo, even with the heal, cannot juke away from Nuguri. Nuguri has a Q in a few seconds. However, Hang is in the area. Does Nuguri know with that Q4 is indicating to me that he does not. Lian is in the area as well. Nuguri starts running at the perfect time. There is not a ward in the area as poor Cube is going to get absolutely CC chained to death up here as Tian tanking up the tower and aggro going down onto doing a beautifully executed, fantastically juggled tower aggro, allowing FPX to dive, cube for the third time this game. Unfortunately, nothing can be done to LWX in the bottom side because he's playing too safe, but Hang is rotating up to the mid lane, seeing that Nuguri is quite far. Paranoia coming down onto Nuguri as a flash gold card coming in. Oh, the Everfrost, that's the item it is, comes in to secure him even further into place as the ultimate coming in as well from Fofo. 2 ultimates so far and 2 successful securing of the kill. Crisp considering a flash there for a second, however, knowing that there is no hope. The auto attack was already in the air, doing B teleporting in to try and save his mid lane tower from taking too much damage. Might get jumped on here by Hang. Hang has his flash. Hang does have Ignite as well. A flash hitbot pulverize coming in could lead to the death of Doing B. Unfortunately, Hung with his backing off as Albex jumping in onto iBoy. iBoy forced to use the rocket jump as well as the buster shot to get away, but Tien is hot on his heels. Pop the camp tank, uses the flash and the smite. Tiger stance into the Phoenix stance, secures the kill, and a lot used there to get the AD carry of RA. However, his flash is just coming out cooldown, fantastically timed, and Dragon is up in 40 seconds. A blue buff steal looks to be in the works here for the members of FPX. Neither Fofo nor Lien is in position, unfortunately, to contest this as Tien easily secures it for himself. Doing B just continuously rattling down, chipping away at his mid tower. I believe the mid tower is going to fall in favor of FPX, in spite of only being 2 ultimates coming in from the Twisted Fate and 1 ultimate being in his own lane. I must say, Doing B has really punished Fofo. He's ahead in CS, he's ahead in terms of towers taken. The only advantage that Fofo has done well, gotten himself 3 kills and 3 assists, now working towards that rapid fire cannon based on that zeal in his inventory. FPX looks to not attempt to contest this based on their positioning, instead opting for the Rift Herald. Not surprised, of course, they want to accelerate the game in their eyes. The idea is that dragons are not supposed to be their win condition. They're trying to secure as many heralds as possible, begin sieging down this game as soon as possible, battering down the walls of RA's house in order to end this game by the 28-35 minute mark. With 3 members of FPX in the mid lane and their final member topside, RA know that this Rift Herald is going down, but there is little that they can do about it. And in response, Lian is in the bottom side trying to Shadow Cube as well as take away as many resources as he can from the members of FPX. As Tien now enters his jungle in order to do the exact same, sees that the Raptors are coming up and will try to steal them. Many pink wards were on the bottom side of FPX's jungle as the 2 members of RA back off. Now, I don't expect to see very much action for the next 3 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes, as both Dragon and Baron will be spawning in that time. Doing B actually using tons of mana in order to push out, to just continuously try and push this wave into the awaiting arms of Fofo. And so far, the game is going. There's no doubt about it. The game is going. Already 13 kills in a 16-minute game. I don't think I can complain about a game that is not that does not have some action, to say the least. However, I must say that I would much prefer seeing more action, kills, fights, deaths. But as I say that, Paranoia using on Nuguri for the 3rd time. Nuguri is jumped on. However, Tien is there to try and peel off Lien from his 8. Oh, the Ngar coming in, a flash coming in. Oh, a beautiful counter engage coming in as LWX actually dives into melee range of 3 people. I do not know how smart that is, as in comes the rest of R8. LWX throwing himself into an awful position as Doing B was not in position either. Oh, Doing B would have been so big in that position in order to kill off the rest of. Actually, I don't think he would have been able to do much, but at least he may have been able to keep his players alive. LWX actually ulting into melee range of so many members of RA. I think that was pretty crazy. Unfortunately for FPX, RA's composition just allows them to reach fights across the map so much easier with the Nocturne ultimate. With the Twisted Fate ultimate, they're able to catch out their opponents in terrible positions so much better. They're able to capitalize on their opponent's mistakes. They're able to group around and gather so much easier. As Fofo spotting out, Doing beyond that ward, actually runs up to try and take him down. Here comes Everfrost, but ultimate coming in from Doing, peeling him away from himself and allowing him to run off into safety. And RA actually doing a fantastic job there in terms of making a play, in terms of getting the pick Because like I said, I don't expect there to be much action as we see a Lei Yan using his ultimate for like the third time onto poor Nuguri. It's really hard to fight against a Nocturne when he's got his fear channeling onto you, and Cube trying to get his ultimate onto Tian all over the wall there. A beautiful engage coming in by Chris, but as we see here, LWX just jumps into melee range of two members, and then in comes iBoy and in comes Fofo, and out goes LWX, I suppose, as Crips also trying his best to run away in vain, doing be the only member alive, the only member left standing for the side of Royal Rare Atom. As I must say, RA with their competition have so far doesn't feel like they've built themselves up. In fact, on paper, they have not really built themselves up a fantastic lead, but it feels that in terms of their composition and in terms of the last few fights, they are quite comfortably ahead. So it's an interesting feeling. However, to the credit of FPX, they also, with their Rift Heralds, have been able to do a great job keeping the gold quite even, in fact almost exactly even at this point in time. But with Dragon and Baron spawning within the next minute, we are about to see, ladies and gentlemen, within the next 3 or 4 minutes, another graceful and beautiful fight. Let's see. FPX here have a slight disadvantage when it comes to I'd say they have a slight disadvantage when it comes to team fighting. In fact, actually, I think RA has got a bit of a disadvantage as well, because the Nocturne dives in, but so does the Irelia, but Irelia ultimate can hit multiple people, as can her stun, and then Crisp ultimate is huge in team fights. LWX, based on his itemization, is just looking to shred tanks, which will mostly be Hung and Cube. Cube, with only one item, is really not going to be very much of a tank in this situation, as Teleport is coming in from doing B in order to secure this Dragon. Want to ensure that Rare Atom are not able to get to Dragon Soul, and that could potentially be their only win condition. That and Elder Drake, trying to prolong the Elder Drake, I think is the main focus here of FPX, as both teams are in a standoff. Top wave is pushing towards RA, so the longer this goes out, FPX is in a slightly winning spot. That being said, the bottom wave is pushing in favor of RA, so overall it might be quite even. Mid priority is going over towards FPX for now, and FPX starting up this Dragon, Nuguri and LWX in transition. Crisp trying to keep their carries alive as the ultimate is coming down here. Hung is positioning very aggressively. In comes the Nocturne, but it's too late as Tian secures it. Lei Yan forced to flash out, but a beautiful ultimate bringing in 3 people. Hung is left to dry as well. Unfortunately, team fight goes completely in favor of FPX as Cube was nabbed there by Nuguri's E at the tail end of the fight and easily dismantled by the rest of FPX, heading now towards that Baron. What can they do with this? They'll definitely get a recall in and perhaps begin sieging out the last 3 outer turrets. That remains on the side of RA, and just like that, one fight later, the kills have been brought closer from 7 to 11 now to 10 to 11. Baron going over to the side of FPX. Dragon going over to the side of FPX. And based on that, who knows what the future holds, honestly. And really quickly, just a quick recall coming in. As we see from this fight here, Hung actually in a fantastic position, zoning out 3 members, but the ultimate coming in way too late for Lei Yan. Lei Yan arriving with 0 mana, having used most of it onto the wave. 2-man ultimate just bounces around Lei Yan, and Hung left to dry, and then that beautiful stun coming in at the tail end. That actually didn't look like it really hit, but regardless of what my eyes can perceive, it actually did, and Cube just gets taken out towards the tail end there. Lei Yan just using too much mana on the minion wave in the mid lane, I believe, is actually comes in with practically nothing. And as soon as the Dragon goes down, the ultimate coming in from doing B, follow up coming in from Crisp, and just like that, the fight is over. Team fight definitely going in favor of FPX. In fact, team fighting ability definitely going in favor of FPX, with the combination of Crisp and doing Beast ultimate and Nuguri's ultimate perhaps layered over it. I was thinking that RA had a good look there with the Ngar ultimate. Unfortunately, Ngar is just so much harder to play around with. Oh, but Tian trying to juke out Cube, trying to bait him into the bush. However, Cube with that ward over the alley actually spots him out. Tian actually has a great flank here. Cube is on Mega Ngarno, however, and I think FPX do not want to fight him in this current situation. Like I said, it's really hard to fight with a Ngar on your team because you need to wait for him to have that Mega Ngar. Otherwise, he really only has 3 spells that can, and only like 1 spell that contributes to the team fight, as Nuguri is sieging down the bottom side. Cube there with his ultimate might look to go in here as he gets stunned up. Tian actually wanting to go in, however, waiting out that hit. I cannot believe it, as Nuguri jumps in, uses his Strike Breaker to slow out Cube. Hold on a second, that bear stance slap looked a little bit suspicious from here. But who am I to say? I suppose, again, these eyes just aren't what they used to be. As Fofo is pushing out the top side, trying to get something back for his team. Unfortunately, if he does not recall and join his team soon, they might lose a lot more than just one inhibitor, like a couple of Nexus turrets and maybe even the Nexus himself, trying to force Fofo's hand. Fofo does have teleport and can return in quite quick speed. Cannon Minion is here to sieging it up as the teleport is coming in, has been forced out. FPX will try to take one tower and probably leave out of here. They are still in a 4v5 position, RA, as some damage is coming in now. Quickly backing off. Hung has been spotted out. Has he been spotted out? I don't know, has he been spotted out? Tian is running corner. Hung has not been able to run away from this bear stance as the paranoia coming down, actually getting members of FPX to slow down. Doing B is focused down, using his Zonias, actually saving him from the paranoia and the gold card. Chris jumping in with the ultimate, and Cube is on the side trying to stack up in vain his ultimate, but Nuguri is in the front, actually tanking out a ton of damage. Tian flashing in, as is LWX. Buster shot to backwards. Cube is in position, gets a two-man ultimate, stunning up LWX against the wall, but Tian is frontlining so well. Tian actually getting his, just tanking all the damage. Look, no damage coming down as Fofo. Unfortunately, you can't run away from a stride breaker Irelia as Nuguri cleans up the kill for LWX, and FPX renewing their vigor, consumed with the souls of RA, continuing on that push. 2 full HP members up against 5 members of FPX. FPX probably will not be able to end the game here as Nuguri jumps in onto Lian. Lian channeling out his fear. Actually, Nuguri using his W to try and tank up the fear. Hung jumping in. iBoy chasing out Tian. Tian with his shield, actually still alive. Chris jumping in, but iBoy juking back and forth, actually killing up the whole backline, getting 2 kills for himself. Now focusing on doing this could be a Penta, but Penta is thrown away by Lian. Nuguri trying to jump in, actually getting his stacks. Oh, beautiful flash. Quadra kill coming in here for iBoy. Oh my goodness, iBoy just having a field day in the back line of FPX, cleaning up everything. In fact, if it wasn't for Lian over there stealing out his last kill, that could potentially have been a Penta. That was a Penta already. As you see here, Hung doing a great job, and then iBoy fantastic positioning, getting one auto attack on Tian, actually kind of getting baited in and then kiting away from Chris, autoing him down to death, enabling him to reset, jumping straight onto Tian, one-shotting him, and then shooting doing B with no mana. And there we go, Lian, that last auto onto LWX was not necessary, could have given him the Penta in my opinion. Actually maybe not, as iBoy might have gone down to the advances of Nuguri, as the dragon is spawning now. And this looks to be another point of contestation. However, FPX doesn't look to be. FPX doesn't really look to be in position for this and may just give it up. Baron is spawning in 1 minute and 40 seconds time. That snipe looked really close there, but Lian no doubting him, sir, as he has now kind of, if you ask me, he's kind of fallen off. He's really a fear and a tank bot at this point in time. Of course, his long range engages are fantastic, but the follow-up needs to be there, or else he also cannot stand in front of Doing B and LWX's damage. As teleport coming in there from Doing B in order to keep the cannon alive, in order to allow them to siege down the second last outer turret of RA's base, and just like that, they begin rotating for a wave that's already been beautifully set up by Doing B in the top side. Pretty much where he teleported from, honestly, as Hung is channeling his Hex Flash, uses it over the wall, but goes over the wrong wall if he was looking for members of FPX to fight, as Tian is just clearing out whatever he can of the jungle, just taking away all routes that they have potentially for coming back is FPX. Now backing off with Baron up in 40 seconds time. And looks like just a quick reset's gonna come down. Quick reset coming down as FPX starts sprinting towards the Baron. This could potentially be the last Baron of the game. This could potentially be the last fight of the game. Lian actually doing a fantastic job getting ahead in levels over Tian. Tian after this round hopefully will be level 15. Otherwise, Lian has a very solid chance at stealing away this Baron buff. Actually, Tian still level 14. Lian at level 15 already, probably from getting that last hit onto LWX. So overall, all is well, all is worth. As Cube looks to be caught out here, Tien running towards iBoy, uses his smite onto him, iBoy forced to use his Buster Shot as well as his jump. Unfortunately, he can't outrun Tien. Tien just jumps in one man, ultimate coming in on to do from doing BS. Hung is in the middle of the fight, Crisp is in there as well, Leon flashes over the wall, but Cube is being jumped on, uses his ultimate onto only Nuguri and tries his best to kite away. Unfortunately, everyone is random pings going down as FPX up to go for the throat, up to go for the jugular rather than the Baron buff. Tien just tanking up tower for days, for years, actually somehow getting Buster Shot away, chasing up to a Tristana with Rocket Jump. Can you believe that champion? Runs so fast, runs so far. My goodness, as members of FPX just playing with their fruit, Nuguri teasing them, getting himself low in the fountain, and the game ends like that. DoingP just laughing at Nuguri. I can't believe you did that, you cheeky punk. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you to the end of FPX versus RA Game 1. Cannot wait to watch Game 2 with you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya!